1. Green flag, we're racing.
Get your foot in.
Three wide.
He got it. He's got it. He's got it.
Get there. No.
McCandless is going to win.
Wow.
The Barr Officials FTF Cup Series welcomes you to the virtual Michigan International Speedway. We've got the 1987 cars back on track for tonight's Air Mobility Command 400K, live from the Irish Hills of Brooklyn, Michigan. So glad that you could join us tonight here on FTF. Jacob Pitts and Caleb Hoffman here with you as we get set to go for 125 laps around the Michigan International Speedway. Should be a good one, and we will shift right away into our starting grid for tonight's race. Let's take a look. Yep. And let's take that down. There we go. It's Sean Butler on pole. He's come close to winning at this racetrack before. He's got Wyatt Tinsley to the outside. Jose Solis Jr. missed the start. He was supposed to start from third. Kevin McAdams will line up to the outside there in row 2. Then it's Christian Kendall, Dylan Basin, Cole Freilich, Ronnie Osmer, Gabe Dahari, and Sean Conklin rounding out the top 10.
Row number 6 will have Joshua Chin with Spencer Burns to his outside. Kane Cook and Jackson Anderson will start 13th and 14th, making up row number 7. Chris Wetz and Ashley Kolonix, 15th and 16th. Matthew Swack in 17th. Paul Mikolajczyk in 18th. Seth Knoll and Jacob Wilkerson make up row number 10.
Starting 21st tonight is David L. Brown, Philip McCandless to the outside, Jake Nichols, Malachi Drake in row 12, Cosmin Yoneshu and Art Reimer back there in row 13. Then it's Doucette, LeBombard, Sean Rowe, and Brian Mercurio rounding out the top 30.
Take you through the rest of the field here. Michael Guest, Wyatt A. Gray in row number 16, Aldeem Contreras and Brian Sabelski in row number 17, Nathan Rabideau and Derek Farr, who missed the start as well, in row number 18, Justin Malillo, Jaden Hopp, row number 19, Wayne Kennedy and Scotty Smith make up 40. And then your field of 44 starters are completed by Kyle Merkel, David Cabrera, Daniel Falkingham, and Michael P. Frisch.
Field half a lap away from getting the green flag here from Michigan International Speedway. Caleb, what's a key to keep an eye out? Obviously a long race, and with these race cars, not going to be very easy to control around the property.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the big thing, is speeds are going to be really high, especially in the draft. You're going to have to watch out on these restarts. Going to have probably a lot more than you can handle going down into turn number 1. Just keep an eye on how these guys manage their tires throughout runs. That's going to be really big. Track temperature right now up at 101 and only going to get hotter as we're right around the peak of the day at 1 p.m. So going to be interesting here with Sean and Wyatt starting alongside each other on this front row.
Pace car heads to the safety of pit road. Sean Butler will bring us down to the start with Wyatt Tinsley. Side by side, the field of 44 will come to life at Michigan. We are racing in the Air Mobility Command 400. Off the corner, it'll be Sean Butler to lead us back around to the start-finish line. Wyatt Tinsley there in second. Kevin McAdams is third, and then there are 2 and 3 wide further back. Christian Kendall, Dylan Basin, and more.
And lots of navigating happening throughout the middle of this field right now. Lots of 2, 3 wide, and have to have that give and take early on. Long race here, 125 laps in the midfield, figuring that out pretty quickly is, again, not a lot of space here to negotiate all these runs that you're getting.
Just like last night in the Modern Racing Prince.com Open Wheel Series, Cole Freilich at the front of the field. He's in 7th. make it 8th now, and saw him blink once already down the back straightaway. Got to tighten up that connection if he wants to have a shot and not put himself or some others in harm's way. Here's Wyatt Tinsley to the inside. He was looking for the lead off turn 4, but looks like he'll be forced to hold on to that second spot for now.
Well, again, there's going to be a lot of divergence in thought here, whether or not you want to push right off this restart or if you want to let it sit a little bit. Again, we've seen a lot of that with these 87s, you know, not pushing as hard at the very start of the run and letting it be saved a little bit later. But this guy up on the outside, not wanting any part of that right now. Been looking for the lead the last few laps. Sean Butler's been doing a great job to hold him off, but should have a run down the front straightaway. We'll see if he takes it right tucked up behind the number 32 and will sit there for right now. But Wyatt Tinsley on the hunt for P number 1.
Just thinking about it right now. Whoa, look out. Kane Cook is sideways and on the apron and going to keep it pointed in the right direction from inside the top 10 to the back of the field. A great save from Kane Cook, who almost came apart right there in turns 1 and 2.
That was a huge save by Kane Cook there. I don't know how he kept it together through the grass. And going to be losing a lot of track position here, but better than putting it in the wall early on. Looks like Wayne Kennedy might have just got a piece of it ahead of him as well. But it'll
take a
look at what happened here. I don't know if that car just stepped out or...
I don't know if maybe he had Cole Freilich to the outside. He was coming down the racetrack. Not sure if he saw Cole move and just turn the car more to the left. Let's right on board. Watch the car in the middle up ahead here. That's Freilich. Gets out of the 3 wide situation and turns down, but I think Kane just lost it as soon as he got off the gas. Great job saving the race car.
I mean, a fantastic save, but when you get off the throttle like that, obviously the balance of the car is going to shift to the front, so it explained why the rear end stepped out so much, just wasn't expecting it. And a great catch there from Kane Cook. Meanwhile, Dylan Basin on the prowl. He's underneath Ronnie Osmer here for the 5th spot. Osmer here on the outside, going to have the run, and Basin will fall back into line.
Good run from Ronnie so far, sitting up there P4. Qualified in the 8th spot. Has picked a couple of spots off, and here he is right in the thick of things. Got the Dale Jr. Foundation on the hood still from the Rockingham 508 from a couple weeks, last week.
And a really strong performance so far up inside the top 5 and holding off Dylan Basin, one of this series' main faces right now. Again, only 7 laps through this thing, and that's where the pace and the tempo, you got to figure that out through the course of the run. Because still a long way to go. You don't want to burn up your tires right now battling for P number 4. Might be P number 3 here if Kevin McAdams has another corner like he just did. Got up on the outside. Will get some of it back here in the wake of Wyatt Tinsley up ahead of him.
Sean's still leading, bunched up here off the corner. Here comes Basin to the inside, and that got a little tight there off turn 2.
Made contact with Josh Chin there, and really close call between those two. I mean, Michigan is not a place where I'd like to be turned on the back straightaway, especially in these 87 cars with the blowover physics underneath them. That's how things get squirrely quick. Saw a fair share of that in practice with all these guys.
It's not like the next-gen cars where you're pretty much full throttle around the racetrack the whole time. You're getting close to 200 miles an hour as you get down to the end of the straightaway, and then they're at 150 in the middle of the corner.
Well, and that's really what the difference is, right? I mean, you see the next gens, they can get up to around 205 or so running solo like that, but the mid-corner speed is only about you know, in the 180s. For Chase Briscoe today, it was 190. He was flat out around this place. So top end speed still going to be the same, but obviously with these cars being so much higher off the ground, not as much grip as well. So you got to get that thing slowed down. And running in the draft like this, I mean, that braking point can vary from, I mean, the caution light is a lot of these guys use, and you're off the throttle until well past the building in turns 1 and 2.
Right on board here with Dylan Basin. Right in line there with Ronnie. You can see how much the lap times have already fallen off. More than a second since the drop of the green flag, and we've only gone 9 laps.
Oh, and close between Kevin McAdams and Wyatt Tinsley. They almost came together, made contact. Kevin tried to fit in right in front of Josh Chin, couldn't find the space. Now Dylan Basin going to be all over the back bumper.
Kevin kind of came down and blocked that run there from Basin a little bit, pick up his momentum instead of opening up the door, or Basin pulling out a line to put that Pontiac on the bottom 3 wide.
We'll see if McAdams takes the opportunity here. I think Basin's actually going to beat him to it. He'll get the car right on that yellow line, make it 3 wide. This would be for the 3rd position. However, I don't think he's going to have enough of a run to stick there. As you see now, Kevin with the advantage over Josh Chin. Comes Wyatt Tinsley down to the inside, looking for the lead. Have to get out of the gas, though, and tuck up right behind Sean Butler.
And you almost wonder how much of this is maybe, I know it sounds weird here, but maybe fuel? Just, you know what? I've got the draft. I don't have to put as much energy in the car if I don't need to. I'm already getting out of the car, or out of the gas in the corners. I'll let Sean keep leading and just let him tow me around this racetrack.
No, I mean, that's a great thought, but at the same time, you want to stay in that the tow as much as possible. And see that right here with Basin right behind Josh Chin. You don't want to be doing what Kevin's doing all the way on the apron if fuel is your primary concern right now.
Well, and the other thought, too, is if you go for the pass for the lead and you don't get it to work, you could wind up like Kevin and just force down a line and then free-falling through the field. In the corners, it's one thing, but on the straightaways, they get nose to tail up on that outside line, and there's just no room for you to go unless somebody else tries to make a pass. So you're stuck just trying to side draft and get your way in line any way you can. He might be able to do it here in front of Christian Kendall as he slides up off the corner, as here comes Basin to the bottom for that 2nd spot.
We'll see here with Josh Chin to the outside of Basin. I've just been kind of watching him rise through the ranks so far, and has been picking them off, up 7 spots since the drop of the green flag, and finds himself in 4th right now. We'll see if he can make it 8 spots and find a way around Basin here, but again, that aggression we saw right at the restart with lots of double file and 3 wide has gone away for the most part, and seeing a lot more single file, especially among the leaders.
Well, but here comes Basin. He's not wasting any time. He'll jump to the bottom of the racetrack, goes side by side with Wyatt Tinsley. Wyatt will get out of the gas and let Basin go right on by, put down 11 in the 2nd spot.
You see here on the back straightaway, it's very interesting, I think, what we're seeing right now out of a lot of these drivers. Very typical when it comes to these big D-shaped 2-mile ovals, but you'll see them fan out a little more as they hit the corner, and then everybody gets up on that top line, and you'll see a straggler too, like you see with Dylan Basin right now, who looks like he's wanting the lead down to the inside to turn number 1, gets right alongside Butler, and I presume Sean's going to let him have it. Gets right on that quarter panel. We'll see if he gets any type of run. No, he'll fall into line, and new leader Dylan Basin, but going to have to check up big time. A little bit of a slider there from the 11 machine.
And here comes Sean right back to the bottom. We'll see how much of an effort Sean puts into this battle, but after Basin threw it into turn number 1, Sean says, oh, not so fast. He goes back to the bottom. Basin will try and get the run up off the high side, but Sean's able to clear him.
Ooh, and here comes Basin again with the crossover. Down to the inside, a lead just barely at the stripe. Has the momentum advantage down into turn number 1 on the inside. Should be able to get clear of Sean, but Sean, if he plays this right, will be able to set him right back up again on corner exit. You see Basin pushing down off the bottom. Gonna have to catch it, and that'll give the momentum right back to this 32 machine down on the inside. Flip-flopping the lead with each other right now. Down the backstretch, give it back to Sean.
See how deep Sean decides to drive it in on board with the 11. Basin got back on the gas pretty hard, but Sean able to prevail, and he will hold on to the lead now after a little back and forth.
Starting to see this the rest of this group close in as they've been trading the lead back and forth. Wyatt Tinsley right in this group, only about a 10th back from Basin now. Ronnie Osmer here is stuck around in that 4th position, and Kevin McAdams back into the top 5.
Comes Ronnie for 3rd.
We'll see Ronnie start to slide up. Tinsley gonna give him that spot. And now Basin will drop all the way down to the inside. Osmer and Tinsley, a little bump drafting happening together, and have a best of both worlds right now between a pack race, but also almost a dirt race with how much they're having to wheel these cars through the corner.
It's been a clean 18 laps so far here from Michigan, as here comes Osmer to the inside for that 2nd spot. Sean Butler has led just about every single lap. Ronnie Osmer's trying to change it now as he's up into that 2nd position.
Here comes Basin down to the inside. Feels very similar, ironically enough, to kind of what we saw yesterday, where, I mean, a lot of these guys right now are just opting to stick in line, stick in the draft. If they get enough of a run, they'll peak up out of line, but otherwise pretty content to just kind of sit where they are, just sit in that line. And Christian Kindle, Wyatt Tinsley, Kevin McAdams a little further back. They decide to go side by side with it, but again, just lots of riding around in line happening right now from these leaders.
Further back, Christian Kendall, Cole Freilich and company side by side. You've got Josh Chin there. Wyatt Tinsley has a front row seat to it as well. John M. Conklin back here, that white car, the 54, making a move. Josh Chin, after having a great start to the race, has started to drift back a little bit, all the way to 9th.
Ooh, Conklin with a little bit of a wobble off turn number 4, had to catch that car. Rolls back, Chin will take advantage behind Cole Freilich. Well, I mean, Freilich is looking for a big rebound from last night in the Modern Racing Prince Open Wheel Series. Had a very good car early on and just walled it out of turn 4 and ended up wadding it up and retiring from that race. So right now, riding in 7th. And hoping to just put a full race together, I think, tonight.
Bill's in for his teammate Nate Stewart tonight. Nate usually runs the 15, Cole in the 4, but not the case this evening. Of course, we'll have another race tomorrow. We'll be taking the next gens out for a spin, as here comes Ronnie Osmer for the lead on Sean Butler. Side
by side, and this is an interesting spot for Osmer to put Butler in. You can see Sean's going to have the momentum, and now Dylan Basin going to go with them. And if you're Ronnie Osmer, this isn't what you want, because this is, ironically enough, what happened to Kevin, who's to his outside now a little earlier. Good news is for Ronnie that he's got side-by-side battle between Tinsley and Kendall happening behind him, so won't get left out to dry as much. As you can see, a little bit of slideways action down. Almost hit that transition and got the car upset. McAdam's going to take advantage of that.
Kevin to the inside. He'll take that spot away, and Ronnie going way up the racetrack there in turns 1 and 2, almost up into the marbles, the loose stuff, and you're not going to find a lot of grip out there as we've got a crash in the wall. 2 cars. Seth Knoll is one, Spencer Burns is the other, and Art Reimer comes piling in as well. Nowhere for Art to go. 2 more cars crash. Michael Guest is one, Chris Wetz is the other. And a multi-car crash just creates a snowball effect on the back straightaway here at Michigan and puts us under the caution for the first time tonight.
Surveying the damage right now, it looks like this might have started right with the Ashley Kolnick's machine. I think she just gets tight and no room for Spencer Burns to go, tags Knoll, and like you said, just a snowball effect from there as everybody goes to avoid.
Yeah, Wetz and Guest kind of pinballed off each other going for the same spot. That didn't work out. Another angle. Yeah. It's got a little too high wide there, and round to go. Oh, man. Feel bad for Art. Nowhere to go. Always has a good showing in these cars. So right on board with Art. Oh, got it in the back of David O'Brien there. I wonder if he got hit from behind and kind of got pushed into that as you hear the motor hand grenade. We'll watch it again from high above, but this time focusing in on Art. That almost seemed like he got a push. Oh yeah, he did.
From Guest.
And then Guest comes down and hits Wetz. So for Art, his day over because of the guy behind him not hitting the brakes in time. That's a tough pill to swallow. Meanwhile, the field is on pit road for their first stops of the day. 4 tires the call for most, not for all though. Dylan Basin takes 2. He'll win the race off pit road. Everybody else takes 4. Justin Malillo and Jaden, well, Malillo stayed out. Jaden Hopp missed his pit box. He will have to come in for another stop. 25 laps are complete at the Michigan International Speedway. Under our first caution right now, Justin Malillo's your race leader. We're going to step aside. We'll be back right after this here on FTF. Back and ready for the restart here in the Air Mobility Command 400 from Michigan International Speedway. Justin Malillo stayed out. Dylan Basin took 2 tires. Everybody else took 4. We're back to green.
This is going to be interesting here up at the front of the field with some of these guys on older tires. I mean,
yep.
Ain't going to get eaten alive.
Thanks for playing.
Tough look for the birthday boy.
It was yesterday. Here comes Oswald
Belated
for
birthday
the lead.
Boy. Ooh, got hot. Gonna push that car up the racetrack. Basin gonna have a run. Sean Butler in tow behind. Wyatt Tinsley here as well. Sean's gonna duck out of line and go with Dylan Basin down here on the inside. Tinsley up with Osmer.
Butler going back for second. He has it. So far, the 2-tire call working for Dylan Basin, but it may not last much longer because here comes Sean.
Sean has a big head of steam going down into turns number 3 and 4. Gonna make it stick hopefully on the inside. He's right at the door of the 11. And will be able to rotate through that corner just a little bit better. Gonna go all the way down into the paint at the restart zone. Just barely has the lead right now, and he'll be able to get clear of Basin now.
So now Basin just has to survive on those 2 tires with everybody else behind him. Here comes Ronnie Osmer with a run. Meanwhile, further back, this is 15th to 20th, 2-3 wide. Daniel Falkingham, your championship leader. Michael P. Frisch, who's high up in the point standings, in the thick of things here. David Cabrera, Kazman Yoneshu, Sean Rowe, and more. Snarling pack. Again, 15th on back.
Yeah, gaggle right here. All over each other. And this is where you got to be careful watching how much room you take. Meanwhile, up at the front, how about Dylan Basin trying to make it a battle once more? Gets to the inside of Sean Butler, but almost loses it. I'm going to lose Butler and also Osmer down the back straightaway here before ducking back into line. It was a bold move to be on 2 tires.
You can see Basin's already about a half second slower than his fastest lap. About a 10th slower than the 2 cars in front of him as Basin kissed the wall off the corner, and we've got trouble. Caution is out. Wyatt Gray and Sean Rowe on the front straightaway. Rowe's car comes to rest up against the outside safer barrier. That car is wrecked. He's going to have to tow it. Let's take a look and see what happened. This is right around that 15th to 20th spot that we were watching.
Yeah, I mentioned that if we were going to get the wreck, it was going to be right around there. And what do you know, a half a lap later, looks like Sean Rowe and Wyatt Gray make contact there on the outside. I don't know if that's initiated by Cosman or not.
Yeah, somebody else got there, got a piece of Wyatt Gray as well. That may have been just a squeeze job there with Gray going to the outside and then Cosman coming up the racetrack. And that angle stinks. So maybe we got to do it like this. From that first shot, I thought Cosman came up. Yeah. I feel like that was just maybe Wyatt didn't know that they were in a 3-wide situation there.
No, I mean, even so, I think they just ran out of room, but at the same time, it was caused by the 24 coming up. I'd say I'd be interested to see what that's decreed through race control.
It's Malachi Drake took out a little bit of damage out of that, running up the back of Wyatt Gray.
Answered immediately. That's going to be placed on It's going to be on Cosman, so that'll be an end of longest line penalty in terms of wreck score.
He will go to the back. Sean Butler continues to lead the way. Over here, let's talk about points because, as we mentioned, Daniel Falkingham is your points leader coming in. Frisch is second. Seth Knoll is third. David L. Brown has fallen to fifth in points. There was at one point where he was leading the standings, especially after his win in Atlanta in the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series. You've got Jake Nichols there, fourth. Nate Stewart, who is not here tonight, in sixth. And Cosman, Tinsley, Wetz, and Jaden Hopp, who has had a strong season to this point, inside the top 10. Now remember, with our playoff system, it is not a win and you're in scenario. So guys like Frisch and David L. Brown and Seth Knoll that have a win or multiple wins does not guarantee that they will be in the playoffs, but based off of where they are in points, looking pretty good for them right now.
Yeah, keep in mind, I mean, I know it feels like the season just started yesterday with Seth Knoll winning at Daytona and then David L. Brown at Atlanta, but we are almost to that cutoff point. I mean, tonight is round number 13. We got 10 races after this, so about halfway until that chase-offs race where the 16th and final spot will be decided. And again, it's everybody within that 100 points of 15th place. So going to have a lot of names to keep an eye on that night, how they perform in the Southern 500, and then on to the rest of the chase-offs here for the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series. Always a fun time.
See how it all shakes out. Now, you'll notice that there's one name that's not in that top 10 in points, Parker White. He hasn't made that many starts. He's only been here for the next-gen races. I think he made one 87 start and hasn't made any more. We're back to green with 34 laps complete. Sean Butler is your race leader. Oh, boy, somebody did not get up to speed very well in the middle of the pack. That got dicey getting down to turn number one, but at least at the front, they will all sort it out. Paul Mikolajczyk.
This is right where I was looking, Jacob. Paul Mikolajczyk here. Daniel Falkingham, they almost make contact. Jacob Wilkerson on the outside. Phil McCandless in this group as well. That was a big move from Mikolajczyk, and really lucky that it stuck all the way down on that yellow line. Got to be careful on that transition. We almost saw that bite Ronnie Osmer a little bit earlier, who was running all the way down there. And right now, guys not giving each other a lot of room. A big switch up from what we saw on that longer green flag run a little bit earlier, where there was lots of give and take. And meanwhile, up at the front, you can see between Zwack and Conklin here side by side, going to make it 3 wide on Osmer. That aggression a lot higher than it was just 10 or so laps ago.
By the way, under that last caution, Dylan Basin decided to pit. He did take 2 tires. I believe he took lefts when he was on the pit lane, though. Balance everything out. But he has now given away all that track position.
Hold him off for 1 restart. Don't know if you can hold him off for 2, so.
Yep. I think he was hoping they would go maybe a little bit longer before the next caution, just so everybody would come back down on the pit road, and it wouldn't matter in the grand scheme of things. You see Basin back here in the 21st position right now.
And again, that's been around where things have been a little more aggressive all night long. Got to keep an eye on him. One of our for sure contenders here tonight in terms of speed, and has been up inside that top 5, top 10 all night long. Meanwhile, starting to ramp up. You can see this mid-pack here. We haven't talked a lot about him, but Michael P. Frisch, who started at the tail of the field, he's right here with another one of his points contenders, points leaders, and Daniel Falkingham right ahead of him. So these guys have continued their ascent and have just about broken up into the top 10 now.
And go figure, Frisch started last, and here he is on his traditional march through the field.
You know, Frisch is one of these guys that just is all about consistency, and one of the things that has really suited him, I think, with this point system right now. You can see riding right in the tire tracks of the guy that he's chasing down in the points as well, and Daniel Falkingham. But I'd be interested to see how this next bit of the schedule goes for Frisch. Obviously, you remember back to last year, picked up his first win of the year at Gateway. Funnily enough, that's where we're at tomorrow night. So let's see if Frisch can start to put some runs together.
You know he would love to.
I mean, really, the entire landscape of the series feels a lot different this year because it's all been kind of a battle for second here these last few years with the Parker Wright domination. So, I mean, with him not being here, the door has been blown open a good bit, and that's where you've seen guys like Daniel Falkingham and Michael P. Frisch and Seth Knoll all take advantage and really take his place at the top of the leaderboard.
How about Wyatt Tinsley? He's jumping to the top of the leaderboard. Sean Butler cutting back to the bottom. Be side by side here through three. I looked up.
Whoa, Eric
we've got
LeBombard
trouble.
gonna go around.
Kolonix is in the wall. Seth Knoll with big damage to the front of his race car. And the caution's out for the third time. Kolonix getting some of the worst of it. Up against the outside wall in turns 3 and 4. This is her second incident of the day. Let's take a look, see what happened.
I think it happens earlier than Kolonix. Kolonix just ends up getting the worst of it. It was right around that group I was looking at with, you see Eric LeBombard there.
Oh, just trying to avoid and lost it.
Seth Knoll with a very significant piece in that as well. That's unfortunate damage for that one machine.
That's his second incident. So, everybody just stacks up and he gets in the back of Wilkerson. Does a great job saving the race car down on the apron. The problem, though, Kolonix not being able to hang on. Here you see the big damage to the front of the one. Right on board with Seth Knoll, top 5 in points, has 2 wins this year. But also has a couple DNFs to his name. Ouch. Pit stops for most, not everybody. John Butler, one of those cars that is on pit road. Daniel Falkingham missed his box. Ronnie Osmer, Kevin McAdams, and Justin Melillo stay out. Jaden Hopp, fuel only. Strategery.
Yeah, we'll see how this one plays out. Again, I think it's different if you have the advantage of clean air. But, I mean, already back in traffic here. I guess we'll see how it plays out. You definitely jump up a fair bit in the leaderboard. But with how the pace of this race has been, with some of these quick cautions in succession, I feel like this is just going to bite you.
I wonder if some of this is because of the stage. Stage ends at the end of lap 50. So we'll get about 6 or 7 to go in the stage. By the way, Cole Freilich had an internet issue. He's 1 lap down. He successfully managed to blink out. He's now back in. And as I mentioned, is just 1 down.
how this restart plays out with now Ronnie Osmer at the top of the charts here. Justin Malillo. And I guess the question becomes, I know we saw with Dylan Basin the 2 tires work, but I mean, again, we saw it with Justin already. Just, I mean, got eaten alive. So again, I understand the stage aspect of it, but I don't think there's any guarantee you're going to be in the top 10 come lap 50. Good for Osmer though. Have a little bit of a meat shield behind him in Malillo and McAdams.
That's what we'll call it.
I'm sure our bosses will appreciate getting called meat shields on.
I don't know. We put somebody in the electric chair last night, so anything's possible.
That is true. That is true.
It's Ronnie Osmer and Justin Malillo on the front row for this restart. We will have 7 laps to go in stage 1. Osmer trying to pick up his first stage win of the season. Will bring us back down. We are back to green with 7 to go in the stage.
Fantastic launch here from Osmer. Malillo is going to have to figure things out quickly here in the middle, 3 wide between Wyatt Tinsley and Daniel Falkingham. Osmer going to come down all the way to the bottom of the racetrack here. A very late apex for that number 55. McAdams and Malillo trying to hold on here. Meanwhile, 3 wide behind him for the 2nd position still.
Oh, man, they are more than that further behind. They were almost 4 wide getting into turn number 1. They've sorted it out to just 2 by 2. That's back with Mercurio, Jaden Hopp, and more. But Tinsley clear for 2nd. He's hunting for the lead. Here comes Butler to the bottom. McAdams clear of Malillo. 6 to go, and Kevin found a window. He wants the lead, but Wyatt Tinsley shut the door.
Great move there from Tinsley, and as they get to the corner, that should be all she wrote. Sean Butler has to get out of the throttle big time, but has enough grip. He can just carve it down to the inside. Will make it 3 wide for 2nd. Got to get by these guys quick, though, if he wants to get back to Wyatt Tinsley for the lead.
Tinsley on those 4 fresh tires, so is Sean Butler. Osmer and McAdams are not. Here comes Brian Mercurio. He has snuck his way into the top 5. Coming to 5 to go in the stage. He's in a good position to get some points. And oh yeah, don't forget about the green car. That's 4 wide on the apron. Dylan Basin back in the mix here on 4 fresh tires.
Get the rejoin going. Oh, and got to be really careful not to lose it up here. Almost making contact with Christian Kendall. They all have to get out of the throttle. Jaden Hopp with the run on the outside, trying to hold it with Christian Kendall. Dylan Basin down to his inside. Not a lot of room being given coming to the end of the stage.
Coming to 4 to go. Business picking up here in the 2nd group, if you will, as well. 3rd on back. Oh, man, it just looks like we're at Daytona or something. All over the place. 4 to go in the stage.
4 to go, and they were 4 wide in 2 different places here, right in the top 15. Ronnie Osmer is struggling to hold on. He gave him a good run up at the front, but he and Kevin McAdams really starting to feel it right now, getting eaten alive. Here comes Frisch to collect some very valuable stage points. Sean Conklin, meanwhile, Sean Butler has caught Wyatt Tinsley and is trying to get to his outside. Tinsley will slide up. We'll see if Sean is probably just going to sit in the draft here for the next lap or so.
Josh Chin got the wall off turn 4, somehow able to keep that thing pointed in the right direction, and Jake Nichols Pontiac almost wound up in the firewall there of Josh Chin. Great job to keep the car pointed in the right direction with 3 to go.
And a really great job further on back as well. Jacob Wilkerson just got super tight, had to get out of the throttle not to make contact with Josh Chin. Meanwhile, up at the front for the lead, Sean Butler starting to look not going to have many opportunities left. Coming to 2 laps to go out of turn number 4.
Crash!
It's still Wyatt Tinsley.
Jackson Anderson around. LeBombard. And more. Chris Witt spinning through the grass. And that'll be the stage. David L. Brown involved in this. Look at the damage to the right front on the 83. Somebody in the top 5 in points. He will not have a good finish tonight. Wyatt Tinsley will win the stage with the caution coming out. Let's go back, and I hit the wrong button. There we go. Let's take a look, and oh boy, looks like it started with Jackson Anderson, and nowhere to go there for David L. Brown. Starting here with the 083 on the outside, and got some help from David Cabrera. Oh, and Cosman, how in the world did Cosman miss that? Got a little bit of damage to the front, maybe. Woo!
That's about as close as it gets.
And he has to miss LeBombard coming back down the racetrack here. On board Chungus Zupal's car. Whoa, Doucette! Oh, got a 1X through the grass, but that was it.
Oh, man.
Kane
Before we were done
well.
looking at replays, oh, it's gone.
Yeah, sorry.
I wanted to see what happened to Dylan Basin, who has parked it.
I wonder if his internet just went to...
It doesn't seem that way, but also I don't know how he would have been involved in any incident that all happened behind him. So I just wanted to see if there was anything that we had missed secondarily.
Well, let's see. The crash is happening. And he's
gone.
So
all right.
I believe he put the old Alt F4 keys together and called the night. So some drivers did pit under this caution flag. Guys like Sean Butler, Josh Chin, Kevin, Ronnie Osmer, and more. These guys could have pitted before the end of lap 50. And once the caution came out, the stage is over. So you could have pitted without sacrificing any stage points. They're choosing here on the front straightaway, and we will have... oh, look at that. We even have a choose camera, and I didn't even know it. So it's Tinsley and Conklin here on the front row after 50 laps.
And now on the other side of the stage, the only thing we got to worry about is the checkered flag here at the end of lap 125, or maybe later with how this race is shaping up so far. Another update for our keepers of rec score at home. As a result of that one, the 31 of David Cabrera was parked and will be suspended for an event.
Oh, wow.
I believe that's our first rec score related suspension of the season.
Possible. Also out of this race, Kyle Merkel, Art Reimer, Spencer Burns, Sean Rowe, Wyatt Gray, Ashley Collins, Kane Cook, Dylan Basin, David L. Brown, Cabrera, Wayne Kennedy, and Eric LeBombard all sit on the pit lane. Here we are back to green. 51 laps complete in the Air Mobility Command 400.
Another great launch here for Wyatt Tinsley. Side by side, a little further back. Frisch on this outside. See if Conklin can try to get clear. Frisch is just barely there. Conklin's going to squeeze him, though. That was a big move from the 54. He's got all the draft help in the world from Michael P. Frisch behind. We'll see what he chooses to do with it right now. Just sit behind the 20 of Wyatt Tinsley here. Now your top 5 going to be Tinsley, Conklin, Frisch, Mercurio, and Zwack side by side for 6 behind. Dahari trying to make a move on Jake Nichols.
How about Dahari up here?
That's what I was thinking.
Very good run for him.
And Gabriel Dahari, I mean, one of these ones that really needs all the points he can get, just hanging on. 21st in points right now.
Here comes
and
Sean.
Needs to start. Don't worry about that.
Just slinging it down to the bottom. Out of my way.
But no, I mean, again, Dahari, one of these ones that desperately needs points to stay within that threshold to be chase-off eligible here in 10 weeks. And that could very well start with a good run here today, right now in 8th. Meanwhile, up at the front, starting to get a little crazy. You can see it out of the roof of the Dahari machine. Gets a nice view to all this.
Good to know that Wilkerson is technically in the wrong number. You looked over at the door. That was a 430 on the side of it. He's only in the 43 now.
Hope the FTF admins aren't paying too much attention to this broadcast.
Yeah. Here's Frisch all over Conklin, who's all over Tinsley.
And again, it's just so hard to pass because Conklin has that drafting help. So Frisch, again, he pulls out a line and just can't really do anything. Now, I think he's going to have to try and back up a corner and generate momentum on the straightaway. That's really all you can do, because if you keep just sitting in the draft like this, I mean, maybe they'll figure it out for you with Sean Conklin making a big move down to the inside, being side by side. A little bit of side draft action going on, too, down into turn number 1. Conklin will take that lead away. You're Frisch. You're probably hoping they stayed side by side a little longer.
Well,
see if Tinsley can get back down to that quarter panel and take care of that.
He tried. Couldn't quite pull him back, though. This does have a bit of a feel, though, Caleb, now that we've wheeled the field down a little bit, that maybe this could turn into a longer green flag run and, God forbid, put us in a window where we'll have to talk about green flag pit stops. We haven't even really sniffed that conversation yet tonight. We had a good opening run. It was about 19 laps before that first caution, and then things just started to trickle down every 10 laps or so. We've had this in FTF already this year, where we get a bunch of cautions early in the race and then a long green flag run. Sometimes it takes us all the way to the end. Other times we get a late race caution. We've had an issue for Brian Zabelski here in turn 2. He has gone for a slide. Let's take a look and see what happened to the 85, and I went way too far back in time. So we're going to do that. It was just going super fast. So fast it caused him to wreck in the next corner.
Interesting.
Not a caution, because he was out of harm's way, and he did it all by himself. Meanwhile, for the lead, here is Frisch on Conklin. Tinsley is there. Oh, boy, cutting it to the bottom. Elevator down. I'm going to the front.
That was an incredible move from Wyatt Tinsley. Went all the way up to the high side, then dropped it back down underneath Conklin. We'll see if Conklin can get to that quarter panel. Don't think so.
And look how far back
Really
Frisch
fun
fell.
move.
Frisch fell back to 4th. He almost dropped out of the top 5.
Well, we still got to sort some things out. Here comes Conklin. Oh, Mercurio thought about it. Didn't want to go with it, though. Conklin with the advantage. Tinsley trying to hold on. Mercurio really has to get out of the throttle here to be conducive to that 20 machine. Everybody up on the high side. Matthew Zwacken line up here as well. Meanwhile, Frisch, McAdams, Dahari on the inside with a little more room to operate.
Problem for Frisch, though, is he really hasn't been able to find success getting out of line by himself as he really washes up the racetrack there off of 2. He's just struggled to move forward when he gets out of line. He really needs some other guys to do the heavy lifting for him as Tinsley way up the racetrack. That's going to allow Mercurio to go up the middle 3 wide at least briefly, but Tinsley able to get the gas back on it. And what he really did was back up the corner to take another run at the lead.
Yeah, no, that was a great move there from Wyatt Tinsley, and the same move that he used to take the lead just a few laps ago. They've been trading it back and forth, and I mean, here about the halfway point of this race, and it feels like there's 5 to go with how much they're trading this lead back and forth. Mercurio all over the back end of Conklin, who's going to have a huge run. We'll see if he goes anywhere with it. Tinsley, you can see, was going down to that middle, anticipating that run coming. But Conklin decided to stick in line. Frisch, washes up again. Gotta watch out for that.
He just put it right in the rear end of Wyatt Tinsley there. Tinsley able to keep it going straight, but now here comes Conklin to the inside for the lead. He'll lead it at the line. But Tinsley hanging tough up on the outside.
Oh, and not giving each other a lot of room right now. Conklin, Tinsley, and Mercurio just all over each other on this outside lane. Frisch with McAdams. Down to the inside now. Conklin really stacking up this outside lane, and that's going to have some repercussions a little deeper in the pack. Here comes Osmer with a run. Grabs the wall.
Yeah, he got the wall, and that's going to cost him. Wilkerson able to jump out of line and get by. And Osmer's going to drop outside of the top 10.
Oh, and contact further back again with Osmer. He and Christian Kindle made a good bit of contact. They get it sorted out, though. We stay side by side at the front. Ooh, Frisch.
Frisch.
Hold on to it.
Out. Past the halfway point here at Michigan. Sean M. Conklin leading the way with a snarling pack of cars right behind him, eager to take it away.
It feels like Frisch has really struggled with getting the power down in the corner. That's where that car has started to push
How about
tight.
except now?
Tinsley, I think, wanted to do the same thing, but Frisch was right there. So Tinsley had to give a huge shot to Conklin down the straightaway. We'll see at the other end of the speedway if the 58 of Frisch can make another run at it.
If anything, I think this has been the trouble spot for Frisch. The exit of 3 and 4 as again up the racetrack goes the 58, but a much better exit that time. Left pretty much even with the 54 of Conklin. And now for Wyatt Tinsley, he's sort of boxed in right now. Nowhere for him to go. He's got the 54 right in front of him, and he about wrecked him going into turn number 1. Here's Frisch on the bottom. He will take the lead as Conklin's trying to hang on to it.
Yeah, Conklin tries to hang on to it, like you said. Wyatt Tinsley and Daniel Falkingham here to make it 3 wide. This for third. Meanwhile, Kevin McAdams here to take the lead. Tinsley steps out big time. He's going to have to hang on to it. My goodness, all the way up the racetrack for the 20. I don't know how he just did that.
4
Conklin's about
wide.
to lose it too. Oh my God.
Here, Falkingham. Where did he come from? He's inside the top 5. As McAdams leads, Frisch second, Mercurio third, then it's Falkingham, Zwack, and Conklin and Tinsley, just like that, have both fallen outside the top 5. Here comes Ronnie Osmer. Last we talked about him, he was going the wrong direction in the wall.
Oh, and Conklin, I don't know how he and Wyatt Tinsley have not wrecked these cars yet. I mean, that thing is all over the place on exit. All over the place.
It's Tinsley going to the outside. Got Sean Butler down underneath him. Dahari and Philip McCandless out back. Frisch and Zwack side by side. That's for third. Mercurio gets by them both.
And again, I mean, just some of these angles I don't feel like do it justice because Conklin and Tinsley specifically, I feel like had a few there where they were about wrecked. Incredible driving from this group up front. Meanwhile, Matthew Zwack, you can see a little further ahead, getting under Frisch, Falkingham, Sean Butler in this group.
Mercurio now in the tire tracks of Kevin McAdams for the lead. McAdams on 8-lap fresher tires.
And a completely different race than it was just even 3-4 laps ago. I mean, we talked about right at the halfway point, Sean Conklin was in the lead. Well, guess what? That 54 is not even in the top 10 anymore. So life comes at you fast.
Yeah, here's Conklin trying to hold everybody at bay here. And Tinsley's
This
about
is what
to join
happens
him.
on these runs when you go at it like they have been up at the front. Those tires are done for.
It's Falkingham, and oh man, did Sean Butler about took out Matthew Zwack. That was close there in 1 and 2, but here's Mercurio for the lead.
Big run down the back straightaway here for Mercurio. He'll take a really early apex, and he'll have to slide in front of McAdams and hold him at bay, but this is where you've seen McAdams should be able to try a crossover here if he'd like. We'll just stick behind. You can see Ronnie Osmer all the way on the apron a little further back. Watch out for the stack-ups a little further behind. Almost got it! Oh my goodness! Sean Butler and Michael Pete Frisch about wrecked each other there.
That was close. And now Frisch gets pushed up the racetrack there by Osmer. That was brewing to be a wreck right there down the front end of the front straightaway to turn 1.
Yeah, there was some radio chatter exchange there. Don't know if any of it was discernible, mostly just screams.
Zwack and Sean side by side as we hit 55 laps to go.
Nice to see the unhinged maniac make a return. Haven't seen that persona in a few weeks, but Sean just clearing himself off people's noses.
Now he's clear. All right, we finally got ourselves a moment to breathe here.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like since the drop of the green flag from the end of the first stage, I mean, things have just been on a different level. And talk about getting a moment to breathe. Might not be for long here as Sean and Kevin will start going at it for the second position behind Brian Mercurio. Adams all the way up to this outside groove. It'll have a great run off of turn number 4 here behind the number 41.
Laps to go. We'll have to make at least one more trip to the pit lane before this thing's said and done. I think it might even be 2. Depends on how far they can go here. If they can split it, they might be able to make it in just 1.
Oh, Sean and Kevin almost made contact there. They just met in the middle. Kevin was coming down. Sean was coming up. Another really close call.
How about Wyatt Tinsley back in this here? He was about to be outside the top 10, and he's worked his way back to the top 5.
And I think you're starting to see these tires even out a little bit more. I think Tinsley specifically was really feeling the effects after racing for the lead so hard with Sean Conklin. But again, even McAdams, who was on those way fresher tires, is starting to feel the same effects that everybody else has been for the last 5 or 6 laps or so. And Tinsley really aggressive, making a push here past Zwack in the draft of Butler. Trying to make this a 4-car battle for the lead.
Here comes Sean to the inside for the lead. He led a lot of this race early. Drifted back through the field after some pit stops at the end of the stage, or before the end of the stage. Oh, and he almost made contact. Trying to side draft. Here comes Kevin McAdams up the middle. Mercurio tried to shut the door, but Kevin said, "I don't think so, I'm going to the front."
I don't know for how long, though, as that's a big entry from Kevin. Sean's going to have the advantage, but here comes McAdams on the outside with the momentum. Has help from Mercurio behind. Wyatt Tinsley's in this group as well. A little bit of a stack up. Big stack up from Zwack and Kindle behind as well. Going to be 3 wide again as Mercurio now peeking through the middle. Butler to his inside, McAdams to his outside.
Sean is clear from Mercurio. Still not from Kevin, at least not yet. Here comes Tinsley. Mercurio jumps to the outside to get in front of him. It's going to leave Sean all by himself on the bottom.
Gonna have to take into account some lap traffic quickly approaching Michael Guest, who has damage from that wreck earlier.
Woo! Here comes Kevin back to the bottom, crossing over Sean.
Mercurio thought about putting it 3 wide, just couldn't get that figured out. McAdams pushing up the racetrack, gonna give the advantage right back to the 32, who's got Brian Mercurio all over the back bumper down the front straightaway. No help for McAdams. Will he go all the way up and fall back into line, or try to stick there going back into turn number 1?
Now Sean finally gets a chance to breathe. "48 laps to go here at Michigan. Sean Butler, your leader. We will step aside. We'll be back right after this. You're watching the Air Mobility Command 400 here on FTF. Back here at Michigan International Speedway for the Air Mobility Command 400, and we are about to have ourselves green flag pit stops with 44 laps to go. It is Christian Kendall leading Wyatt Tinsley and a whole lot more down onto pit road, and Christian Kendall sped. Black flag for the 38.
And that's what you can't have happen there. Kendall's going to lose a lot of track position. We'll see if anybody else joins him here. Jose Solis absolutely blew through his box, had to put it in reverse. Looks like Sean Butler and co will be joining him here. Well, I misspoke. They were just running the bottom.
Frisch will join him. And Matthew Zwack, Gabriel Dahari. Scotty Smith, who was in the back of the field, he sped getting onto pit road. Actually, I think that's a blend line black flag. As he'll come back in this time. Here comes Mercurio. The only one to come to pit road this time by. Yeah.
I mean, with how important draft is here, it's not ideal.
Well, unless he's hoping he can rejoin with some of the other leaders, because, I mean, you don't have to look too far back to find Wyatt Tinsley here, who's working his way through the lead lap traffic as a lap down car, trying to get his lap back the hard way. Christian Kendall just came back out on the racetrack after he sped getting onto pit road. Sean at the bottom. I thought maybe that was a sign that he was pitting, especially when Wyatt went to the top, but Sean, Kevin, Ronnie Osmer, Jaden Hopp, Cosmin Yoneshu, Chris Wetz, Daniel Falkingham, Cole Freilich, Nathan Rabideau, Josh Chin, Justin Malillo, Malachi Drake, Ryan Doucette, and Brian Zabelski. Your top 14 cars have yet to stop.
And I thought it would be a relatively quick succession onto the pit lane, but Sean is content staying out here. We'll see if this is the time. I'm not going to let myself be fooled anymore. Keeps running that inside lane, but arcs it back up and stays out there.
Just trying to get fresh tires for later in the run if we do go green all the way to the checkered flag. Now with 40 laps to go. It's Philip McCandless unlapping himself here. Oh, man. Back here, Ronnie Osmer's in some traffic. Wilkerson on fresher tires. Mercurio, who was one of the leaders, on fresher tires and almost running into the back of Kevin McAdams. Got Zwack in here as well.
That was close.
Oh, yeah, it was. All a waiting game now. How long will the leaders wait before they make the call to come onto pit road? Sean will stay out another lap.
I just tagged the wall a little bit behind him. I'm not sure if it was Zwack or Wilkerson or...
Cole Freilich is in.
Oh, Sean is washing up the racetrack big time. I'd be surprised if he doesn't come down either this next time by or at the very latest the lap after. I mean, that car is struggling to even get the power down. We'll see if that car starts to arc up.
It will not.
He will come down. Ooh, coming in hot.
Kevin's going to join him. Ronnie Osmer will join him. Oh, Falkingham is sideways, but makes it safely. He also has the first pit box, so that helps. Jaden Hopp, Chris Wetz, and Nathan Rabideau stay out. Sean and Kevin both into their boxes pretty perfectly. I mean, they're pretty much in sync as far as their pit stops are concerned.
Yeah. Here comes the next group. Jaden Hopp,
Wetz and Rabideau, all three coming in. That'll hand the lead back over to Wyatt Tinsley. Here is Sean back out onto the racetrack. He will come out about, let's see here. Tinsley is in the middle of 3 and 4.
8 or so seconds?
Yeah, about 8 seconds back. Here comes Tinsley to unlap himself, or rather to take the lead. 36 to go. Tinsley now your leader. Butler coming back to the start-finish line. And yeah, he's about 7.5 seconds back on Tinsley. You've got McCandless second, trying to hold off Brian Mercurio. Sean Conklin's here as well, so it's a race for second for now. Mercurio will take it away.
Galen's going to have quite the run, though. All over the back bumper of the 41. Conklin behind.
It's a train of about 5 cars. Poor position here. Zwack and Wilkerson bringing up the tail of it. Well, Paul Mikolajczyk up here running 5th. Nice run for Paul.
And I mean, Mikolajczyk's another one that needs about, I mean, anything that he can get, right? Coming into today is 30th in points, so, I mean, could theoretically find himself within that bubble for the last spot, but would take a lot of good runs. But running in 5th right now, it's, I mean, right around where he would need to be.
What helps guys like him and Gabriel Dahari is that, you know, they're here every week. So they may be getting points in some races where guys ahead of them may miss a week, may miss a couple of weeks. Helps them get back into the thick of things here. Now, there are the last point provisionals that drivers can take advantage of as well to help offset that, but not everybody takes advantage. It's Conklin trying to get by Phillip.
I think that's what makes it interesting too, right? It's not your typical win in your in system where, you know, some of these guys, I mean, say like a Daniel Falkingham or Seth Knoll or David L. Brown, whatnot. I mean, they could just check out until playoff time, but there will be repercussions for especially Knoll and David L. Brown, who got caught up in incidents earlier on. Seth Knoll right now running in 30th and David L. Brown 35th. 45 laps down. I mean, they are going to fall through the standings a good bit. And it's going to be tough to make up some of that ground.
Kevin McAdams, by the way, had a really slow pit stop. He was in the box a second longer than Sean Butler, and pretty much add another second on how long it took him to get off pit road. He is 3.5 seconds back from Sean. Remember, he was right on his tail when they came to pit road. Sean now 3.3 seconds back from Wyatt Tinsley. He's currently in 7th, and we have a caution. Car hard in the wall. It's Brian Zabelski. Caution is out. I looked up and saw Zabelski up into the wall. Jose Solis Jr. has also crashed. And this will change the entire ball game with 31 laps to go. This pack right around Michael P. Frisch and Jake Nichols. Ronnie Osmer in that group as well. And, looks like Ronnie got into the back of the 85. A hard hit there for Solis Jr. as well. And, oh, man, look out as Zabelski comes flying down the racetrack. Definitely some contact. Oh.
Hard crash there for Zabelski, and just nowhere to go for Jose Solis either.
On board with Jose. That big Chungus is going to take a big impact. Both cars toast.
All right, and talk about changing the complexion of this thing. I mean, it was going to be a kind of a stretch the fuel tank and see if you can make it, but now with 30 laps to go, that'll put everybody inside of this window. And you want to talk about intensity and the stakes being raised, this restart is going to be something. A great slide into the box for Tinsley there. I think Frisch overshot his box a little bit.
Yeah, he did. Now, this is going to put everybody on the same tire strategy. Only question is, does anybody decide to pull strategy like Cosmin Ionescu, who takes 2 tires? So does Kevin McAdams and Josh Chin and Nathan Rabideau. They will all come out as the leaders. Tinsley, the first car out on 4, and he sped. Tinsley sped. He's got to go to the back.
Man, oh man, 29 laps to go, and that feels almost insurmountable for the driver of the number 20. There will be 26 cars on the lead lap. He'll have to start at the tail end of them. What a massive penalty at this point in the race, and what a massive gamble for these guys up front. Cosmin, Kevin, Josh Chin. I can't figure out if Nathan Rabideau took 2 or what happened on this.
Just because of his pit lane time. I know his box time shows up broken in ATVO.
But it did take 2. Just confirmed via video. So
Philip McCandless is now the first car off of pit lane on 4 tires. Sean Butler comes out 9th as the 5th driver on 4 tires. 1 lap to green. They are choosing this time, choose. I think out of everybody that took 2 tires here, Kevin McAdams is in the catbird seat. Because it wasn't all that long that he was, or all that long ago that he was last on pit road. So these other guys I'm a little more concerned about. But for Kevin, he might be able to make it work.
Well, yeah, that's why you do that, in stretching that last run as long as possible. You were hoping for maybe that caution before you pit, but you come down and pit anyways, and you're able to play the track position game. So in agreement with you. I like this move by Kevin. And we saw really too with Dylan Basin, even for guys like Cosman and Nathan Rabideau, Josh Chin, with 2 tires, I mean, you can hold your own up there. It's just got to be long enough for everybody else to even out a little bit behind you. 28 laps, I think, is a little tall task, but I mean, who knows what's in store in these final 28 laps coming to the restart.
Here we go. Cosman Yoneshu and Kevin McAdams are on the front row. We'll have 27 laps to go as we go back to green, and Cosman is gone. A great launch on the restart.
We've seen that control car all day long with a fantastic run. And another good one here from Cosman. Kevin McAdams is backed up to the 093, and Josh Chin, Brian Mercurio. That first car on 4 fresh tires. And really needs to get around these guys. Rabideau and Josh Chin side by side up ahead of him. Here comes a big move from Phil McCandless. 3 wide down to the inside. Mercurio with the run. Gonna almost be clear. Rabideau going down into turn number 3, but can't quite get there. Rabideau out of control in that middle lane. Oh, and really out of the throttle. Zwack's got to lift big time to let him in. He's almost lost it. He has lost it. Oh, my goodness, all the way to the apron.
And he saved it on the apron. He'll drop through the field, but Nathan Rabideau able to keep it pointed in the right direction. You mentioned Philip McCandless. Remember, he's won here at this racetrack in this car before, the Yankee 600 a couple of years ago. The guy who maybe should have won that race, Sean Butler, is on his inside off turn 2.
Paul Mikulajczyk is in the wall hard. Sean Conklin trying to collect it back up. Evasive maneuvers from everybody else. I don't know how we didn't just have the big one. Down into turn number 3. Looks like we'll be okay.
Because they're the best virtual stock car drivers that this sim has to offer. Josh Chin to the inside for second. Mercurio joins the party as well. This is what Cosman wants to see out the mirror with 25 to go.
And that's the other thing, is if you're Kevin McAdams and Josh Chin, force Brian Mercurio to burn up all those tires. I mean, he has an advantage. But
they will.
Yeah, I mean, side by side.
They're teammates, the top 3. So this is a coordinated effort. Keep them behind as long as possible. Sean Butler may be an ally, but they're going to do everything they can to keep all of these guys on 4 fresh tires behind. Mercurio trying to get aggressive, gets Kevin out of the way, but here comes Sean. Chin can't block them both. But now McAdams gets back in front, and here comes Gabriel Dahari. Where did he come from? Here comes the 72 into the top 5.
They got to be careful here because they're going to start using the bumpers. It's courteous at first. Hey, I'm here. But if you get held up for this long, it's going to start to get aggressive. And Sean Butler is there down to the inside. Josh Chin not in any position to block. They're going to go 3 wide with Mercurio almost all the way down to the apron going into turn number 3. 3 wide for second. Big block from Cosman for the lead.
And here comes Zwack as well. He's lurking in the shadows. But Butler gets clear of Kevin. He's almost clear of Josh Chin. If he can get the push from Mercurio, he might be able to get clear of the 093 and focus on Cosman. They'll stay side by side for that second spot, but it's all defense for the 24. Here comes Sean to the inside for the lead.
And here comes Josh to the outside. Not going to be able to make it stick, though. Cosman going to be able to get clear and take up all that room on exit, hopefully build up enough momentum. Meanwhile, Mercurio all over the back bumper of the 32, Sean Butler. These guys in formation, 5 cars really in this group, maybe 6 for the lead. Butler all the way down to the apron. Mercurio going to start pushing up a little bit behind. That should be the end of Cosman up front.
Butler is clear. Mercurio not yet, and he has no drafting help. Sean will stay to the outside and pull that 24 alongside the 41. Exactly what Sean wants to see, though. More side by side behind him. Cosman gets turned. He got tipped by Chin in front of the field. He collects McAdams. Into the wall goes Cosman. The rest of the field flying apart. Gabriel Dahari crashed with Malachi Drake, and the caution's out with 22 laps to go. Teammates collide, and the Mouse House is burned down in turn 2 here at Michigan.
Not only on the initial contact, but Cosman slid back up into teammate Kevin McAdams, and this strategy has completely blown up in their faces. Watch here into turn number 1. Josh Chin all over the back bumper. Cosman gets it slowed down, and Josh Chin can't react in time Sends that 24 around. And that's at least 2 that are junked.
They made contact twice. Josh hits him once right here. And then I think this is just Josh trying to not run him over, and unfortunately just drives it in a little too deep. And nowhere for them to go. You see Dahari and McAdams collide, and then as Dahari spins down the racetrack, Malachi Drake piles in. Drake was somebody that spun, trying to avoid Cosman coming back down the racetrack. On board with Malachi Drake.
Yeah, a bunch of secondaries here. I saw Paul Mikolajczyk got a part of it as well. You can see.
And, I mean, he is years behind the accident and still finds a way to pile in. That was Ronnie Osmer as well as Mikolajczyk you saw drifting through the grass, trying to avoid. So all of your leaders stay out, and we're going to restart with 20 to go, 19 to go. We will choose this time. Oh, I thought we were in replay longer. No, everybody's coming to pit road. Everybody. They want them freshies.
Yeah, I mean, again, why wouldn't you?
Well, if that's the case, we'll take one last commercial break. 20 laps to go. Well, we'll wait for the race off pit road, I guess. We'll be nice. But oh, there goes Tinsley.
Sean.
Spinning around her in his own box, and Tinsley's just going to drive away. So Wyatt Tinsley's pit stop is nothing. Matthew Zwack, 2 tires. Same with Sean Butler, Ryan Doucette, and more. Wyatt Tinsley, though, is your race leader with 20 laps to go at Michigan. We'll be back for the restart. We're back here at Michigan International Speedway. 18 laps to go in the Air Mobility Command 400. Wyatt Tinsley's your leader. He spun through his pit box and did not get service. Matthew Zwack is on 2 tires. Brian Mercurio, second on the inside line. He is on 4 fresh tires. Sean Butler and Ryan Doucette also took 2. Everybody else took 4. It'll be 18 laps to go for Wyatt Tinsley, who is on no new tires. We're back to green.
Another great launch here out of Tinsley. Looking to rebound from this pit road speeding penalty a little bit earlier.
Here is Zwack looking for the lead. He will take it. Matthew Zwack to the front. Sean Butler trying not to run over Wyatt Tinsley. They're going to go 3 wide for second. And he's got the push from Falkingham, the draft from Zwack, but he's boxed in. He has nowhere to go. Now he drops to the bottom. Here comes Butler for the lead to turn 1 with 17 to go.
Big move for Butler. They're going to make contact between he and Zwack. I don't know how they didn't spin there off at turn number 2. Who has the advantage? Butler washes up again. Here comes Mercurio, and here comes Falkingham on the outside.
8 tires work better than 4, but Zwack able to hang on to the lead. Here's Falkingham on the outside. Mercurio downstairs. Wyatt Tinsley in the wall. Here comes Ryan Doucette up on the outside. Sean Butler falling behind in the middle of the pack.
Haven't mentioned Ryan Doucette once, but here he is with 16 laps to go up inside the top 5. Big move from Brian Mercurio. He tries to take the lead. Falkingham is here as well.
Falkingham dropping to the bottom. Now he'll move to the middle. Almost gets into Zwack, but Mercurio is clear. He will go to the front. Oh, man. Falkingham got it into Zwack and somehow able to hang on to it. Now Frisch and Doucette banging door panels. Here comes Sean Butler back on the bottom. I think that middle is just not where he wants to be. He's more comfortable on the bottom by himself or up top. That's where he is now, but he's washing up and getting into Frisch.
Can't do that. Really close calls here with 15 laps to go. It's Brian Mercurio, Matthew Zwack, Daniel Falkingham, Ryan Doucette, and Michael P. Frisch, your top 5. For how much longer does that stay the same here?
Here comes Frisch. Side by side with Falkingham. It's a battle on the racetrack. It's a battle in the point standings. They are the top 2 coming into tonight. Looks like Sean Butler's been able to stop the bleeding there on that bottom side. Whoa, Doucette is sideways. Hanging on to it. He had Conklin all over the rear bumper. Think there was contact getting into 3, but a great save from the 077. Sean underneath Falkingham for the 4th spot. Oh, Jaden Hoppin in the mix as well. Understand he's under the weather tonight, but still out here. It's been a quiet night, but here he is right when it matters the most, inside the top 10, trying to sneak his way into the top 5. He'll go up the middle on Falkingham. Sean Butler will clear them all.
Ryan Doucette really had to hang on to it there. Here comes Jaden Hopp with a run. This is for 4th. They back up. Oh, contact. Falkingham's going to go around just like Cosman did.
Oh, and Sean's going to go around. Into the wall hard goes Butler, and the caution's out. He got pushed by Falkingham and almost had it saved. And Sean Butler's quest for redemption in the Irish Hills will come up 13 laps short.
This was just like what we saw with Cosman and Josh Chin, where the contact from Falkingham, he gets the 39 sideways, and then Sean, who tries to collect it up on the high side, just overcorrects it. Classic. Hard hit into that outside wall. Oh, man.
Falkingham did a great job of hanging on to it. I thought Sean was going to be able to as well, and then that thing just snapped on him hard, and I can't believe it didn't come down and hit anybody else.
And that's such a tough break for Sean, who has had so much speed, sat on the pole. And his quest is done.
All right, well, Pit road should be open this time. It is. And oh man, Brian Mercurio is one of a few that choose to stay out. Justin Melillo stays out, as will Nathan Rabideau. But everybody else has said, you know what? Give me 4 more of them tires.
I mean, I could see this play out for them. It's been about 10 laps since they've been on the pit lane. So, yes, there's going to be an advantage. But really, we've seen around that 20 or so lap mark is when those tires really start to fall off. Mercurio right now, again, it's been 9 laps since they've been on the pit road. So that would put the finish of this race. They'd be right around that 20 lap mark. So, again, I could see it playing out. That there will be 3 of them on this alternate strategy. You can see the race off pit road. Matthew Zwack with 2 tires. Most of the field with 2 tires, it seems.
Yeah, just about everybody off of pit road. First car on 4 is Jaden Hopp. He's in the 13th spot. That could be a winning move, honestly, but there's a lot of cars in front of him that either stayed out or took just 2 tires.
Just wait for them all to wreck each other at the rate this race has been going.
Possible. Seen it happen before. And they'll do it again. All right. Choosing. Mercurio taking the outside. Couple cars taking the bottom. Hopp will take the top.
So many interesting storylines here up inside the top 5 right now. I mean, with Brian Mercurio, somebody sitting right at that 15th spot in points right now, looking for his first win on the year. Obviously, Justin Melillo here, a little further back, but in that same boat, also looking for his first win on the season. I mean, what is it? All the way back to Wyatt Tinsley, the first car that has been in victory lane all year long?
I got to double check that. I thought Frisch has been to victory lane this year.
Frisch has not.
All right, well, here we go. 9 laps to go on the restart. Yeah, it's Wyatt. Actually, no, Ryan Doucette has a win this year. Here we go, 9 laps to go. A great launch from Mercurio, trying to pick up his first win in quite a long time. Here are the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series. Melillo getting eaten up. He makes contact with Rabideau. They are 4 wide. Here comes Sean Conklin on the bottom.
And Sean Conklin dominated so much of this race earlier. They're going to crash. Justin Melillo, Matthew Zwack in the wall. There goes Rabideau down the track. Big crash. Wentz, Christian Kendall around as well.
That did not work. Well, that was ugly. Watch
I mean,
from high above.
what happens here? They're 4 wide, and obviously not the room for that. But once Rabideau gets out of the picture here, you'll see he just loses it. And I thought that was where we were going to be in trouble. But I think Sean just runs Justin up. I don't know.
Justin got scared.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because I mean you're on the older tires. Yeah, I mean, that's hard. Race control is they're gonna call that on Justin. I mean, I can see it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. I mean, I feel like you're set up for that by being 4 wide in the first place. But again, an end to a lot of guys' days here. I mean, Justin obviously, but Zwack, who had a lot of speed and is kind of looking to turn his season around. I hate it for Christian Kindle, Chris Wetz, Nathan Rabideau, who is up there on the strategy play and sets us up for another late race restart here. And I guess all things considered, that's good news for Brian Mercurio.
But he has a lot
he's gonna
of hungry drivers behind him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Conklin, who has a win this year. Doucette, who has a win this year. Frisch, who is second in points. Tinsley, who has a win this year. Josh Chin, Ronnie Osmer, Jaden Hopp, who's strong in these cars. There are a lot of hungry competitors behind Mercurio, but of course, for Brian, he hasn't won in the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series since 2022. It's been more than 3 years since the 41 was last in victory lane. He would love to end that streak tonight.
That is an insane. I don't even think I was aware of that it had been that long for Brian Mercurio.
Right? Yeah. His last win was in August of 2022 at Watkins Glen.
Wow.
That was the last time Brian Mercurio won in the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series. He won 5 races that year, and that was his last trip to victory lane.
And I mean, what lengths will this guy go to? I mean, obviously we know what Brian Mercurio is capable of, and really a lot of these guys up inside the top 5. Obviously, Sean Conklin, Ryan Doucette have both been in victory lane this year. Michael P. Frisch, who is a perennial contender. Wyatt Tinsley in that category as well. So how about Ronnie Osmer up inside the top 10? He's up in 6th right now. He was really strong early on in this race, faded throughout the mid stages, but has avoided a lot of this carnage to be back up here. Josh Chin, who was in a caution a little bit earlier, he's right up here in the mix as well.
So we're going to restart with 5 laps to go. It's Mercurio on the outside, Conklin on the inside, and we've seen whoever the leader is get a really terrific launch. No matter who it's been. So we'll see how this shakes out. But essentially, if we stay green, everybody else will have 5 laps to try and catch Brian Mercurio, who is on 4 tires, but older tires compared to everybody else behind him. Some only have 2 fresher tires, though, compared to 4. The first car on 4 fresh tires, Jaden Hopp, back in the 8th position. 5 laps to go, and another great restart for Mercurio, but Conklin is there, stride for stride. He misses a shift and lost all of his momentum. That's going to back up the outside line. Here comes Tinsley to the outside of Doucette. It's a scramble from second on back. Michael P. Frisch comes out of the pile in P2, and he wants the lead.
Frisch all over the back bumper of the 41 here, and here comes Sean Conklin with a big bump to the back end of the 58 down the backstretch. Will they have enough momentum? Here comes the move from Frisch. Mercurio goes down to block, going into 3. Where does Frisch go? All the way down to the bottom. Mercurio all over the front bumper of that race car right now.
Frisch back on the gas. He has a run to the inside. Side by side for the lead, but Conklin gets behind the 41. He's going to push Mercurio back out in front, side by side for that 4th spot between Tinsley and Doucette, but Frisch is going to try it. Here comes Conklin, 3 wide up top.
Big move from the 58. Can he get clear? Yes, he can. Can Mercurio do anything down to the inside to build sort of momentum down the backstretch? No, he cannot. Here comes Conklin to the back bumper. The 58 down the back straightaway with 4 laps to go for Michigan.
Frisch gets a big push out in front from Conklin. Now it's Mercurio sliding up the racetrack. They're scattered 2 and 3 wide behind the race leader, coming to 3 laps to go. Still wheel to wheel for second. Tinsley wants to get by these guys as soon as possible. He pushes Conklin up on the outside. I think they all think if they can get Mercurio out of the way, they can fight it amongst themselves.
Mercurio not going away. Here comes Wyatt Tinsley, a big head of steam down the back straightaway. He tucks right into line. They make contact for second. Conklin
Trouble.
and Mercurio leaning on each
Trouble.
other. Caution.
Scotty Smith and Cole Freilich have crashed, and we're going to overtime. In the back of the field, but a 2-car crash will force Michael P. Frisch to go through another agonizing restart before his first win of 2025. These two were battling for the 18th position. Not even.
All right.
Oh. And Freilich, of course, who's had internet issues all night long, got back on the lead lap. And you're right on board with Scotty Smith. And I mean, car high. Not much Scotty could do there.
I mean, just frustrating there, but they ran out of room, and
Yep. So we go to overtime here at Michigan. Choose next time by. Michael P. Frisch looking for his first win on this season. He was last in victory lane at Gateway last year.
yeah, last year.
In August. Trying to end that streak tonight. Sean Conklin won at North Wilkesboro. Brian Mercurio, we talked about, it's been since August of 2022 since he last won. Wyatt Tinsley won at Homestead earlier this year in these cars. Jaden Hopp, winless this season. Josh Chin, winless this season. Ryan Doucette won at Bristol. The next winner in the series, you'd have to go back to Kevin McAdams in 14th. For Josh Chin, by the way, he was never won in the Barr Officials FTF Cup Series. Trying to change that tonight. We'll choose right here.
I mean, he's in prime opportunity here.
Yep.
Let's get this choose going. It'll be Frisch on the high side.
Mercurio takes the bottom. Those older tires, we'll see how that shakes out on the restart. If I'm out there and I see Mercurio take top, I want to take the bottom. Just so if Brian doesn't get a good restart, I can get by him without getting boxed in. But we'll see.
And if you're Sean Conklin here, you better do everything in your power to not miss the shift like he did last restart.
Yeah.
I mean, there is not time to lose here. You gotta go. The thing for Frisch, honestly, I would be curious, is with Mercurio behind you now. I mean, it feels like that's kind of been the theme where the control car gets a super big launch off the restart and then almost gets out to too big of a lead where there's so much draft to go around behind him that you get kind of engulfed and eaten alive. I wonder if that's any sort of consideration for Frisch, or if Frisch is going to just attack it, get as big of a launch as possible, and play defense.
I think as big of a launch might help him just because we only have 2 laps. If it was a longer restart, maybe it would be to his benefit to be closer to the field, but with only 2 laps to go and the potential for another overtime, get out of town. So that way you're always the control car if we do have to do this again. Overtime number 1 here at Michigan. It's Frisch and Conklin on the front row. We are back to green here at the 2-mile oval. A great launch from Frisch, but Conklin is right on his corner panel as they head back to turn 1.
And he's got Mercurio behind him. He's got to worry about that 54 machine, though, who's holding right there with him off of turn number 2. Going to be right on the door down the backstretch. Big run from Brian Mercurio in 3rd. Josh Chin with help behind him going down into turn 3. Do they get back to the white flag?
Will they come into turn number 3? Conklin up the racetrack, trying to clear Frisch. He's up there. He makes contact with him. This could open up the door for Tinsley or somebody else. They're coming back to the white flag, side by side. 1 more lap to go. Frisch has the advantage. Tinsley gives the push to Conklin. Will they make it back?
No matter what, this is official. And what does Frisch have in store to hold off Sean Conklin, who was so dominant through the mid portions of this race? Side by side again down the back straightaway. Does Tinsley go to help him? The leaders make contact. Here comes Mercurio with a push. Tinsley to make it 3 wide into turn 3.
Tinsley to the bottom, 3 wide. Up the hill goes Conklin. This could help Tinsley. He bounces off Frisch once. They're wrecking behind him. Here comes Michael P. Frisch with the run off the corner. They're going to be 3 wide back to the start-finish line. They'll throw the block, and Michael P. Frisch in a 4-wide finish will win the Air Mobility Command 400 and a horrific crash behind the rest of the field. Wyatt Tinsley car wrecked. And Michael P. Frisch, welcome to Victory Lane in 2025.
All right, for Michael P. Frisch. And again, we talked about it. Can he get that first win, put a run together? And how about that? I mean, he had to fight it from every possible angle to get it done. That 58 is back in Victory Lane.
He'll burn it down on the front straightaway, and there was a moment where I thought maybe Wyatt Tinsley had this race won, but it just did not pan out that way. Here's the replay of the last lap. Last lap and a half.
And it all gets started. You can see Conklin starts to push Frisch up. Now, it's really hard if you're Brian Mercurio here and you're hoping that Tinsley gives you a little space down to the inside. You can see a good push from the 41 to the 58. You're kind of just locked in to be that drafting partner at that point. Conklin makes a very aggressive attempt to that quarter panel, and really without Wyatt Tinsley's momentum, wouldn't have even had a shot. I am in agreement with you, Jacob. I thought when Tinsley made that move down to the bottom 3 wide that was kind of going to be it.
Frisch,
Watch this through 3 and 4.
Has to think Mercurio. He actually got a push from Mercurio down the back straightaway. Tinsley didn't give that shot to Conklin. Otherwise, I think Conklin would have had a shot at it. But then from here, all Frisch has to do is block. Nobody right behind the 54. And I mean, the 4 wide as they come across the line. And oh my God, Wyatt Tinsley.
Oh, man.
Body bag, turn 1, stat.
Yeah, tarps are needed.
Michael P. Frisch is in Victory Lane. He's your winner here at Michigan. Wyatt Tinsley 2nd, Brian Mercurio 3rd, Sean M. Conklin 4th. Jaden Hopp comes home 5th, Josh Chin 6th, Ronnie Osmer, great finish tonight in 7th, Jacob Wilkerson, Jake Nichols, and Kevin McAdams rounding out the top 10.
Going to lose ground. Daniel Falkingham, who was the points leader, his championship rival in victory lane. Ryan Doucette in 12th. Phil McCandless in 13th. Jackson Anderson 14th. Paul Mikolajczyk in 15th. Cole Freilich in 16th. Christian Kindle 17th. Chris Wetz in 18th. Justin Malillo 19th. And Seth Knoll to round out your top 20.
21st tonight, Nathan Rabideau. 22nd, Gabriel Dehari. Matthew Zwack, 23rd. I believe he was part of the crashing and shenanigans in the back of the field there on that last lap. Scotty Smith, 24th. Cosmin Yoneshi, 25th. Aleem Contreras, 26th. Sean Butler had one of the fastest cars here. Unfortunately, a late wreck puts him out of it. 27th. Malachi Drake, 28th. Jose Solis Jr., 29th. And Brian Zabelski, 30th. All these cars did not finish.
And take you through the rest of the field. It's Michael Guest in 31st, Eric LeBombard in 32nd, Wayne Kennedy 33rd, David Cabrera in 34th, David L. Brown 35th. Another one of your championship contenders up there in the top 5. Dylan Basin 36th, another really fast car that went to waste tonight, unfortunately. Kane Cook in 37th, Ashley Collins 38th, Wyatt A. Gray 39th, Sean Rowe in 40th. Last 4, Spencer Burns, Art Reimer, Kyle Merkel, and Derek Farr, who was 131 laps down.
Yeah, Derek Farr did not take the green flag. We'll be seeing you. Did not set a lap. Let's bring him in here. Michael P. Frisch, your winner here at Michigan. And, boy, you had a lot of fighting off to do on that last lap. Take us through that last restart.
Yeah, it was poorly timed restart by me. I mean, Sean couldn't have timed it any better with me going side by side in turn 1. So I knew at that point it was, as the moment he got cleared, I was going to lose the race, so I had to keep him at bay with me, and it was 3 wide before I knew, and I was defending every lane possible as much as I could, and me and Sean were beating doors back down there, going into, I think, out of turn 2, coming to the white, and I just sailed it off in there, going into 3. I knew Wyatt was going to peak low, trying to go to the yellow line and try to send it in there, but I knew if I can keep my mill up on that 3rd lane and get the drive off, that I was going to be there at the end. I mean, honestly, that race couldn't have been any better. It was very, very dynamic. That's probably the best 87 race I've been a part of. I hate that it was only 128 laps. I wish it was like 400 laps because that was awesome. I've never seen the track just widen out after, I would say, the first run. I mean, there were certain points. I know I'm going way past the final restart here, but it was awesome.
Not only you come out of here with your first win of the season, you're going to come out of here with a championship lead as well. How big is that? Obviously still a long way to go before we get to the end of the regular season, but a little bit of daylight. You're now out in front of everybody else.
Well, funny enough, I was knocking on wood last night that I asked, I think it was Brian. I was like, do we have an FTF race tomorrow since we were off? And he was like, yeah, it was 87s at Michigan. He says a double header at Next Gens at Gateway. And I'm like, let's just go back to back, So, because last year that was where we got our one and only win last season at Gateway over Kevin King and Parker there. Still can't forget that one. But no, we're going to keep the momentum high here and just keep the consistency going, especially with this car. It seems to be, obviously me being a very big advocate for this car. I talk about it a lot and how great it is on the service and how much time I put into it, and just learning the tire and how to run and how to be quick and just how to have that pace throughout the whole entire run. It's very a fundamental car, and it's very, very rewarding, especially when you get a win like this and the finish like that. It's just, you get that adrenaline pumping, you get that dopamine kick, and it's full-fledged adrenaline push at that point.
Well, Frisch, congratulations on the win. I've got good news and bad news for you. The good news is we race tomorrow at Gateway, which is where you won last year. The bad news is this is the last 87 race that we're going to have for a while because of the Gen 4 that drops on Tuesday. We won't pick the 87s up again until we go to Watkins Glen in August.
That's fine, because honestly, with the Gen 4, it's pretty much everybody on an even slate at that point with a new build, kind of, and a new car. So it's pretty much who can learn it the quickest and who can drive it the best at that kind of, driving style. Because we know every car on this service has a very fundamental driving style, whether it is the 87 car, the next gen, the B car, to the truck, to the Gen 4. I mean, they're all different. So definitely, when it comes around that next race, it's definitely gonna, you'll see your typical fast guys up there, but I think we'll see a lot of comers and goers for the first couple races with this car for people learning stuff and how to keep their pace and how to keep the tires under it for sure.
Frisch, congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Michael P. Frisch, your winner tonight here at Michigan. And I want to bring this up before we talk with our second place finisher here, because while we were in the replay, I got a chance to look at how close this finish was for second on back, Caleb. All right, so Wyatt Tinsley finished 57 thousandths behind Frisch. And as they come to the line here, oy vey, it is that close. Tinsley gets second by 1/1000th over Mercurio. Sean Conklin lost out on a podium by 8 thousandths of a second. Here's Wyatt with Caleb after that wild finish.
Yeah, no, and I mean, before we get to the wild finish, Wyatt, I mean, just talk me through all the emotions in the last 30 laps, because I'll be honest, when you got that pit road speeding penalty, I thought you were dead in the water there, but a lot of cautions, and you work your way through it, and somehow pick up a second place finish out of all that.
Yeah, I barely, so like in iRacing, you can run like kind of 56, kind of like how they do IRL as well, so like you could kind of run like barely over. And I just was doing that all the way down. I was making a good time like all night. And I barely tapped 57, and then that just blinked you to a speeding penalty. So, and then the second time I just had too low of brake bias, and I forgot this car is not an F1 car because I've been playing the F1 25 too much this last couple of days. So it's just all in all, like I just threw like the last 30 hours. But I was glad I was able to get back up there and misdirect and have a battle. I think I should have backed up my corner just a tad bit more. I was trying to go three into 3, and hopefully Sean would wash up and kind of kill Frisch, and I would prevail out of the 3 wide finish and steal another 87 win. But all in all, I had a good race. Got the stage win. I'll take that over Sean. And then yeah, a lot of fun. I mean, my fuller rim is kind of broken, so now I'm on my over rim now again. So unlucky, but I still had a good race, and I think that really actually benefited me a lot tonight, just because how this car rolls.
Yeah, and I mean, it's your first top 5. You've been in a little bit of a slump, just in terms of finishing, at least. First top 5 since back at North Wilkesboro. How do you look ahead at the next part of the schedule? Obviously, we got the next gens that we're breaking out at Gateway, but then into next week, we get into the World 600 is going to be a pretty marquee event, but Pocono, Daytona, Chicagoland, and then the street course coming up. So really fun part of the schedule this next month or so.
Yeah, with the new Gen 4 car coming out, I hope that's good. I hope that kind of race is really good as well, like, and I can get acclimated to that pretty well as well as the new next gen. The next gen change as well. So like, there's a lot of changes that I'm just kind of like up in the air about. Like, I don't know how it's gonna go, but hopefully we can acclimate pretty well. And then just, I want to win a couple more races before the season ends, before we go into playoffs. So, playoff point tonight was definitely a good road to start. And then yeah, we'll just go on to hopefully finish good tomorrow. Gateway's been running my good tracks, and other than last year, you know what happened last year, but I feel like we've had a really good speed at Gateway a couple of years, so I think it'll be good tomorrow.
That is Wyatt Tinsley, who picks up a podium finish here today. Appreciate your time, Wyatt, and we'll see you tomorrow at Gateway.
There you have it. Let's talk with third place finisher Brian Mercurio.
Hello.
Who somehow snuck into a third place spot. It was that close coming back to the start finish line on those older tires. Did you think you had any shot at maybe getting into the lead, or was it just well, let's see what happens and maybe they'll wreck?
Look, if anybody was streaming that race and wants to go back and hear the in-game chat, I was as the kids would say, crashing out. So I was just hoping more guys would stay out. And, at Homestead earlier this year in the 87s, I felt like I was the best car all night. And then I pit late in the race. No one else did. And then I just couldn't get back to the lead. And I was like, well, that kind of sucked. Let me try the opposite this race. And then the entire field minus like 3 people pit. So, it was a pit last race and I lost. So I was like, what if I stay out from the lead? and I still lost. But this went a lot better, I think. So there's a positive.
Especially since you're talking to us, I'd say it did work out pretty well. Take us through that final restart. Obviously boxed in, taking the outside line. You got a car in front of you, a car to your inside. Not much as far as where you could go outside of just pushing that 58.
Yeah, that was pretty much the goal. Kind of everybody saw you can just kind of roll around the top, even with a tire deficit like what I had. You just keep the momentum up there, and especially when you see, Sean's challenging for the lead and he's down low. He's going to be side by side with Frisch the whole time, and Wyatt has a tire advantage, so he's going to try to drive down on the low side. And if I could just roll the momentum and stay up top, kind of behind Frisch, I'll at least keep my position and help him out a little bit. I was able to give him a few pushes there on that final restart. So, yeah, fortunately, it just, thought I maybe could have gotten second if those guys didn't get together down on the apron coming on the line. But I'll take third considering being on that tire disadvantage there. But, man, if we had some of those longer runs, I felt like I was one of the best cars in the field tonight. So would have loved to be able to win. NFR / Michael P win is like right underneath that on the list of really cool things to happen in a race. So to be talking to you guys after old tires like that, I mean, just in general, long runs when we got in this race, ton of fun, had a blast. I hope it was fun to watch from the booth, but I had a ton of fun racing tonight.
Finally, since he's back in the news this week, how many points will the Jets beat the Steelers by week 1?
Man, I want to say 8,463,000,000,000, a very large number. But, knowing the Jets, I saw what happened 2 years ago with Aaron Rodgers tearing his Achilles, that whole thing. So, my goal after week 1 is just make it out healthy. I hope the Jets just have fun. That's what this season is, right? One of the cool things we see in sports these days, like a team like the Pacers, right? They win by the power of friendship. I hope that's the Jets this year. They just have fun. I mean, look, we got the Ohio State connection between Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson, also Jeremy Ruckert, tight end number 2. So there's a little bit of connections going on there. I just want to see my team have fun. So, but specifically, let's beat the Steelers. I'll say a final score of 28-17. Jets win.
28-17. All right, we'll write that down, and we'll come back to it once we get to September, and see what happens. Brian, thanks for your time. Having fun on the racetrack, and he wants his football team to have fun too. P3 for Brian Mercurio. Brian, thanks for your time.
Appreciate it if you don't mind. Just real quick, if I could just squeeze something in. Just wanted to give a big thank you, everybody, FTF, for putting this on. I know Kevin puts in time every week to get the track and setup conditions right, and he absolutely knocked it out of the park this week. Appreciate them, FTF admins, Justin, Jake, all the guys behind the scenes who put this together. You and Caleb and everybody responsible for the broadcast. Appreciate y'all. Rebel Rabbit, High Seltzer, representing here on the 87 car. Coast to Coast Racing and all our cool partners over there. That's, I was maybe expecting to do some other things this year on the virtual e-racing track, but haven't been able to do those. So in the meantime, I'm just having fun, and I had a lot of fun tonight.
Brian, thanks for your time. We'll see you tomorrow night.
See you guys.
Brian Mercurio coming home P3 tonight, and we touched on everything there, from racing to football and everything in between. All right, well, we're just gonna appreciate the calamity one last time.
I was about to say, can we go back? Just ride along with Wyatt Tinsley through this?
I want to ride along. I want to ride along here with Ronnie, because he takes an even worse ride. You want to talk Le Mans disaster? Look out!
Oh my God!
And then he takes the 41 Mercurio straight to the dome. Yeah, let's just bring it behind the wall. I think it's done. Whew.
I mean, just craziness. And I mean, again, you heard it from Frisch, but what a race that we saw tonight. I mean, you could run just about anywhere. We saw lots of side-by-side battling up for the lead. A little bit of strategy sprinkled in there. Probably, could have gone without maybe the final 2 or 3 cautions somewhere in there. But it all panned out, gave us one heck of a finish. Frisch back in victory lane. And again, such a pivotal time with now only 9 races until we get to the chase-offs. And guess what, Jacob? I mean, we got Gateway tomorrow, but it's the World 600 this time in a week. Yep. So, I mean, again, one of the marquee events. We're going to be up here in the booth for quite a while that night, but looking forward to it.
And we'll be in the new Gen 4s. They release Tuesday. We will be using them next week. It should be a lot of fun. That's it for us here from Michigan International Speedway. We will say goodnight. It's Michael P. Frisch winning the Air Mobility Command 400. I want to thank you so much for watching tonight. It's been a long night, but a fun one. For Justin Malillo and the gang for letting us do this each and every week. For Caleb Hoffman alongside me, I'm Jacob Pitts. It's Michael P. Frisch, your winner at Michigan. We're back tomorrow from Gateway. And the Barr Officials FTF Cup Series season rolls on right here on FTF. We'll see you tomorrow night.